All right, so we are here at Apple's campus in California for WWDC. So this is their worldwide developer conference where they announce all the new software features that are coming for the year for Mac, iPad, iPhone, as well as, of course, Apple Watch. So first up, they've actually changed the way they named WatchOS. So last year it was WatchOS 11. Before that, it was WatchOS 10, 9, 8, so on. But this year it's WatchOS 26 to align with the year 2026. And I know it's 2025 right now, but they're basically making it like cars where they're basically naming it after their next model year. Anyhow, with WatchOS 26, they've refreshed the user interface. There's also new ways of interacting with Apple Watch, and there's also some fitness features, including new Workout Buddy feature, as well as some pretty welcome updates to the Workout app itself. All right, so first up, let's talk about how we actually interact with Apple Watch. So they've now made these smart stacks smarter, where it's supposed to dynamically update based on your location. So an example they gave is like, let's say you arrive at the gym, the Workout app should just appear right at the top of your smart stack. And then another example they gave us with the Backtrack app, where that'll just appear at the top of your smart stack if you get into a location where there's like no cell phone service. And then another new capability they've added is a new wrist flick feature where you'll be able to close the smart stack just with like a quick wrist flick. And you'll also be able to do other things like close notifications, mute calls, as well as silence alarms. So basically extending the double tap feature a little bit with a new wrist flick feature. And it's not just all about interacting with your Apple Watch. They've also brought some new features of how you actually interact with other people. So there's now live translations on the Apple Watch where all you have to do is raise your wrist to enable live translations instead of you having to like whip out your phone. Another new feature coming to Apple Watch, which is something that I'm particularly excited about, is the Notes app. Voice memos are definitely convenient, but just having the Notes app on the Apple Watch itself is just going to be a lot more convenient. And they've also made some enhancements to notifications where it should dynamically adjust the volume based on your location. So let's say you're in like a loud coffee shop or something like that and you can't hear your notifications. It should dynamically adjust the volume based on your location. And they've also introduced a refreshed user interface they're calling Liquid Glass, which takes a lot of inspiration from their Vision Pro, where there's supposed to be a lot of glass-like elements all throughout the interface, where there's going to be like reflections on the edges and stuff like that. But not only that, these elements should actually dynamically shift based on your touches and your swipes. All right, so for the Workout app, they're actually introducing some pretty big updates to the Workout interface, as well as a pretty interesting new feature called Workout Buddy. All right, so when it comes to the changes to the user interface, so instead of having that workout stack of workout profiles that we had before, there's now going to be this new full screen view, which actually has this kind of like four-corner layout with your most recently used or most commonly used workout profile right there on the screen. And it's really all about organizing a lot of the stuff that you usually would access in the three dots in the upper right-hand corner to all these four different locations. So in the upper left-hand icon, so this is going to be stuff like your workout settings, like your workout data pages, as well as your workout data fields. And then in the upper right-hand corner, these are going to be your workout experiences. So these are going to be stuff like your custom workouts, as well as stuff like race routes. And then on the lower left-hand corner, this is going to be where you'll access your media and music. And then on the lower right-hand corner, this is going to be stuff for alerts, as well as the new Workout Buddy feature. Now, all the options in the upper left-hand corner, as well as the right-hand corner, should be pretty familiar to you in terms of the workout data fields, as well as your like workout experiences. But it's really the stuff on the lower left and lower right that are new. So with the new music and media controls, so these are kind of interesting, where it not only gives you faster access to your music when you first start a workout, but it's actually a lot smarter as well. So what it can do now is that it can actually suggest Apple Music that you've played before during different workout types. So let's say you like had a particular playlist that you use for running. We'll actually suggest that one for running. And then same thing goes for something like weight training, where if you listen to a different playlist, it'll suggest something just for weight training. But it's not just that. Let's say your playlist is getting a little bit stale or something like that. You can actually choose this Pick For You option, and it can automatically suggest music based on your particular workout type from Apple Music. And then on the lower right-hand corner, this is where you'll be able to access the alerts that we've had before, but also the new Workout Buddy feature. So with the Workout Buddy feature, what they're doing is bringing Apple intelligence to the workout experience by basically giving you like motivation during your particular workouts. And the feedback that it's providing isn't just based on the particular workout that you're doing at the moment, but also your workout history. So there's basically three parts to Workout Buddy. So there's going to be an announcement at the beginning of your workout, during your workout, as well as the end of your workout. So at the beginning of your workout, it could say something like you've already burned X amount of calories for the day, or maybe you hit like half your move goal.
Great job starting your run. This is your second run this week. You're crushing it, closing that move ring for 6 straight days. Let's keep building on that with your run today, fueled by some house vibes from Muramasa.
And then during the middle of your workout, so this is going to be where it may announce like different milestones or breakthroughs. And it's basically going to be extending the kind of like split announcements that I have right now, where it could say something like you just hit your like fastest second mile split ever or something like that.
4 miles down. Your last mile was your fastest yet, coming in at 8 minutes and 56 seconds. Your average heart rate for that split was 157 beats per minute.
And then at the end of your workout, it'll kind of give a summary of what you've done on your workout and maybe like any milestones that you achieved.
You just crushed your 100th mile for running workouts this year. Keep up the great work.
Now, Workout Buddy isn't necessarily a coach per se, but more like an actual buddy that'll give you motivation, where it's basically designed to help you break through different key moments during your workout. And you'll be able to hear Workout Buddy through a pair of Bluetooth headphones, and not just AirPods, by the way, any Bluetooth headphones, but it won't work through the Apple Watch speaker. And the other question you may have is, what if I don't want a Workout Buddy? Well, don't worry, you can actually customize the Workout Buddy experience where you can actually enable it and disable it for particular workout types. Now, even though this Workout Buddy feature isn't necessarily coaching, it is kind of interesting that they are using your training history and your workout history to generate these insights. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see where they take it from here. So all these features have been announced today, and they're first going to be available to developers and then a public beta later on, and then usually a full rollout with the Apple hardware announcements that happen in the fall. But definitely stay tuned for my longer term thoughts about all these features, and also make sure to subscribe to the channel to get a notification when those videos come out. And if you found the information in this video to be useful, do me a favor, just quickly hit that like button. And in the meantime, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.